Hello, this is Mrs. DB, and this is the fourth page of the Sketchpad file on Chapter 2, Section 3, Graphing Linear Functions in Sketchpad. So here's an example. At the top it says, use the slope and y-intercept to graph a linear function. But first we have to solve for y. So in this top example we have 2y plus x equals negative 6. It's not y equals, that's what we want. It's got a plus x there, so we're going to subtract x from both sides. All right, now we have 2y equals negative x plus 6. You could have written 6 minus x, but since I'm used to the form, the slope-intercept form being y equals mx plus b, where the x part is first, I just put that first. And because it was minus x, we write negative x. All right, then it's 2 times y, so I need to divide everything by 2. I'm going to divide this term by 2, this term by 2, and this term by 2. When I have negative x over 2, it's better to put like a 1 in front of the x, because you can always do that if you want. And then it's the same as negative 1/2 x. I'm doing that so that it'll be easier to say, hey, what's the slope? And then 6 divided by 2 is 3, so we simplified that. Now we know what the slope is, we know what the y-intercept is, because that's the slope-intercept form of a line. And in the slope-intercept form of a line, it says it in this box over here, we know that m is the slope. So this is the slope right here, negative 1/2, and b is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 3. Okay, so now we're ready to graph it. The first thing you do is you put 3, 1, 2, 3, on the y-axis because it's the y-intercept. And the next thing you do is you do the slope part, which is to go down 1 and over 2. This point is from a different, this point here is from a different thing. Okay, so now we're going to go down 1, the slope, from here, and then over 2, and then we have another point. Whoops. And then you are going to draw a line through those points. So that's already been done. Now we're going to do those same steps on our problems here. So our first thing to do is to solve the equation for y, because that's not done yet. It says 3x plus y equals 1. We need just y. So we don't want the plus 3x on there. So to get rid of the plus 3x, we are going to subtract 3x from both sides. Now we can't subtract 3x from 1 because they're not like terms. So really we're just going to rewrite this now. Let me give myself a little more room here. There we go, that should be enough. So we're going to rewrite the equation now in terms of y. So now all we have left on the left side is y equals, now remember up at the top we put the x part first because then it's in the form y equals mx plus b. So minus 3x is the same as negative 3x, 1 is the same as plus 1. Now I'm ready to say what's the slope? The slope is negative 3, or negative 3 over 1 would be even better because then it's rise over run. And the y-intercept is 1. So now I can go to the graph and I'm going to put a point at the y-intercept, which is 1. So on the y-axis at 1. And then my next point is going to be, I'm going to apply the slope to this. So I have to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 1. So that's where my next point will be. And then I'm going to get my line tool and I'm going to connect those 2 points. So that line I just graphed is y equals negative 3x plus 1. I can also check it with my tools in Sketchpad. I'm going to go to Graph, Plot New Function, and I'm going to type in the part after the equal sign. So I had to solve for y first. I already did that. Now I'm going to type in the negative 3x plus 1 part. And I'm going to see if that line ends up being right or really close to on top of my line. And it did. It was like really, really close or right on top of it. So I know I got that right. So for the next one, number 8, 10x plus 5y equals 20. The first thing again to do is to solve this for y. Let me see if I can get a few more lines in here. So how am I going to, I'll help you solve this one for y and then you can do the last one. So I need to get rid of the 10x by subtracting 10x from both sides. And again, I can't take it away from 20 because they're not like terms. So I just write 5y equals negative 10x plus 20. That wasn't enough room for me. And then, oh, this was supposed to be for over here. Now I'll have enough room. Okay, and now I don't want 5y, I just want y. So you divide every term by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, so I have y equals negative 10 divided by 5 is the same as negative 2, but I'm going to write that as negative 2 over 1. So when I do the slope, it'll be down 2 to the right one, plus 20 divided by 5 is 4. So now I can see that the slope is negative 2 over 1, and that the y-intercept is 4. So the first part you graph is 4 on the y-axis. You'll put a point there. And then the next part that you'll graph is, hey, where'd my slope go? Did he erase it somehow? Why did it leave? It like erased my last couple steps there. Okay, I don't know why, but I had it. You saw it. Now it's gone. It must be because I scrolled up. So anyway, I had y equals negative 2x plus 4. And then that was the same as the slope was negative 2 over 1. And the y-intercept was 4. So I won't move up, but you'll have to put those on the graph. And then also redo number 9. So these are not the... You were finding maybe the y-intercepts, but that's not enough. You have to find the whole equation and then put in the y-intercept and then the slope point and then connect the lines between there. All right, thank you very much. Let me know if you have more questions.